The reality is much more unexpected. So don't blame your age if you're over 60 and you wake up every morning feeling weaker, less alive, and seeing that there isn't much blood flow down there. One spoonful of the right diet before bed is all it takes to reverse the quiet starvation of circulation that most guys your age endure every night without even recognizing it. My name is Doctor and I have over 30 years of expertise as a men's health specialist. My life's work has been to help older men rediscover their vitality, connection, and physical and mental strength. And what I'm about to share with you is one of the most underutilized resources for male health. We're trained to put the morning exercise, vitamins, and energy pills first. You see, what if I told you, though, that the real magic happens while you're asleep? That your body will actively work to repair arteries, restore testosterone, and carry blood to the right areas if you give it the right fuel. In this video, I will guide you through the procedure. These 7 simple, delicious sleep meals will help you restore your energy, develop muscle, and improve blood flow, even if you're in your 70s or 80s. And don't go, because I'm going to tell you about the one food that I call nature's Viagra in a spoon, and how taking it just before bed can make a big difference in how you wake up the next day and every day after that. Before we begin these powerful midnight meals that can increase your blood flow and confidence overnight, make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on the bell. You should never miss another advice if you want to help men over 60 feel strong, energetic, and in charge again. If you're ready to become well again, type 1 in the comments. If you want anything different the next time, type 0 and let me know how I can assist you more successfully. Okay, let's get going. Let's begin by discussing the first thing you should be aware of if you wish to improve blood flow in critical areas. How does circulation in that region decline so quickly after 60? Why is this the night that you have the best chance of making it right? This is where most men make a mistake and the start of your comeback. Let me explain. 1. Why it's to your advantage that circulation decreases at night down there. Let me tell you, most men never hear from their doctors. There are other factors besides arousal that affect blood flow to your groin. It affects your identity, standard of living, and general well-being. Unfortunately, beyond the age of 60, that circulation begins to decline more quickly than most people realize, but no one talks about this part. At night, it doesn't become worse. In fact, it may be the best chance for you to get better. During my early years of practice, I treated Joe, a 71-year-old proud father of 3 and retired firefighter. He told me softly, sitting in my office with tears in his eyes, that it had been over a year since he felt like a man. He was talking about more than just performance. He was talking about feeling disconnected from himself. I asked him about what he ate, how he slept, and especially what he did in the hours before bed. Like most men, he said, nothing really. Try relaxing. Maybe by watching TV. Then I realized how often guys miss the hour right before bed, one of the day's most powerful windows for healing. You see, as we age, our nitric oxide levels drop. This substance makes it easier for blood vessels to relax and open, allowing blood to flow freely throughout the body, especially to the penis. When you combine that with declining testosterone and stiffer arteries, it seems sense that men begin to lose their sensitivity, strength, and endurance. But here's the worst part. Your body is actually trying to repair the damage while you sleep. It's ingrained in your biology. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, heals tissue, and rebalances your neurological system. The problem is that without the right fuel and building materials, your body cannot operate as it should. This is where most men unconsciously set themselves up for failure. They stay away from protein at night. They do not consume enough magnesium. They are irritable before bed, have fluctuations in their blood sugar, or are somewhat dehydrated. And all of that subtly suppresses circulation when it's most required. But Joe made one adjustment. He started giving his body the right quantity of food, just 1 spoon before bed. Within a few weeks, he was sleeping better, waking up with more energy, and yes, feeling more alive and confident. I can still see him coming back for his follow-up appointment with a smile on his face, a slightly taller build, and a more composed voice. That's why eating at night has such power. Did Joe eat anything before bed? What are you expected to eat tonight? More importantly, let's begin with one of the most powerful yet unappreciated items in your kitchen. You probably have had it throughout your life, but you didn't know it could make you a more attractive man after 60. 2. The starter of nitric oxide, poached or soft-boiled eggs. I have a brief question for you. How recently did you think that recovering your masculinity could be achieved by eating an egg? For the most part, we were brought up to think that eggs were solely for breakfast. It may be fried on the weekends, but it's scrambled in the morning. But as a doctor who has spent more than 30 years working with older men, I can tell you this: a soft-boiled egg at night can boost your performance more than a whole shelf of vitamins. I remember Walter as a patient. He was 68. A former math teacher, soft-spoken and suspicious. If something as simple as eating an egg could change my feelings as a man, someone would have told me by now, "Doctor," he remarked. I smiled and said, "Well, that's exactly what I'm doing." You see, an egg's power comes from more than just its protein. It is found in the amino acid leucine. It encourages muscle growth, hormone balance, and most importantly for men like us, the release of nitric oxide. That molecule is responsible for relaxing blood vessels and increasing blood flow, especially in the areas where you've most likely noticed weakening. But that's not all. Eggs also include vitamin D, which keeps testosterone levels stable, and vitamin B12, which enhances nerve communication and is necessary for sensitivity and alertness. Specifically, a poached or soft-boiled egg is easy on the stomach, allowing your body to break it down gradually throughout the night and provide nutrients to the areas that need them most: your muscles, arteries, and yes, your manhood. 2 soft-boiled eggs were added to Walter's evening routine. No complicated diet, no big adjustments. Just constancy. After 10 days, he informed me that he was waking up with firmer morning erections and less nighttime potty breaks. No miracle occurred. It had a scientific bent and it wasn't hurting his body. It was helping it. It is quite inspiring to realize that one tiny spoonful of food can gently begin to repair what time has eroded. Having a broken feeling is not required. You simply need to feed your body varied foods. If you think eggs are strong, wait until you discover the creamy spread that balances blood sugar, relaxes arteries, and primes circulation for success all night long. It also only need 1 spoon. You may view almond butter in a whole different way. The relaxing for arteries, almond butter. Now, I want you to think about this if you've ever been in your kitchen late at night wondering what you might eat that wouldn't affect your sugar or sleep. Just 1 teaspoon of almond butter, please. No tricks, no medicine to make a big difference in your health. All you need is a spoonful of a natural creamy substance that has been sitting in your cabinet. I was visited by Carl, a 74-year-old man who had recently resumed dating after being widowed for 3 years. He finally said, "Doctor, everything else is working just fine after multiple visits." Even still, he was ashamed to bring it up except from me. We talked. His erratic sleep patterns and dramatic drop in energy in the evenings were what truly caught my attention. Even though his blood tests were okay and he wasn't taking any major drugs, that's when I brought up almond butter. Almond butter is more than simply a snack. It is a circulatory support instrument. It has a lot of relax which lowers resistance and encourages better flow. More importantly, it contains an amino acid called arginine. It also contains a lot of healthy fats that aid in the production of hormones. Your body converts arginine into nitric oxide, the chemical that facilitates and maintains blood flow to the penis. But here's the beauty of it. Before bed, a dollop of almond butter does more than just give your body a tasty treat. You're sending a signal to your vascular system. Relax, fix, and reassemble. Almond butter also keeps blood sugar levels steady during the night, which is important after the age of 60. Blood sugar fluctuations can disrupt hormone balance, create sleep difficulties, and even result in fatigue from sleep. Carl began eating a piece of whole grain bread with a dollop of almond butter an hour before bed. 2 weeks later, with a smile I had never seen before, he walked into my office. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like I'm 20 years younger." My girlfriend noticed, too. The strength of timely, fundamental sustenance lies in that. Furthermore, almond butter just opens the gates. The subsequent bedtime meal works deeper. In addition to reducing inflammation and speeding up healing, it contains a unique ingredient that naturally enhances your performance and quality of sleep overnight. It's sweet, tangy, and often forgotten. Let's talk about cherry juice now. And it's not just any cherry juice. This one is supported by real science. Fourth juice from cherry tarts, the sleep circulation superfood. There's something almost nostalgic about cherry juice. It brings back memories of childhood, summer, and maybe even the small glass bottles our moms kept in the fridge for a lot of us. But most men over 60 don't know that this tart ruby red drink could quietly become one of the most useful tools in your nightly routine, enhancing your performance and sleep quality. One patient of mine was Leonard, a 69-year-old former bus driver. He spoke loudly and carried a silent irritation in his chest. His body was not responding, especially when it came to intimacy, and he had been experiencing sleep problems and fatigue. "I feel like my body has left the room, even though I'm there cognitively," he said. That's when I introduced him to sour cherry juice. The unique qualities of tart cherry juice go beyond just its flavor. It's related to the way your body works while you're asleep. Nature is rich in melatonin, a hormone that helps control deep, peaceful sleep. But it also contains a lot of anthocyanins, which are chemical compounds that boost nitric oxide generation and decrease inflammation. This suggests that while you sleep, sour cherry juice is helping your blood vessels expand, mend, and optimize blood flow to your heart, muscles, and yes, your most private parts. Leonard started consuming a small glass about 30 minutes before going to sleep. It became a calming ritual. He said after a few days he began to sleep faster. In a matter of weeks he felt more energized in the morning, woke up less at midnight and something else. He was waking up with greater erections. I didn't expect that from cherry juice, but I'll take it, he replied, laughing. What I love best about this food is how delicate and effective it is. One little glass will provide your body exactly what it needs to revitalize and repair itself without any problems or negative consequences. But here's the problem. While the cherry juice soothes and re-energizes from the inside out, the following meal serves as a tiny, nutrient-dense powerhouse. In addition to being crunchy and nutrient-dense, it also helps shrink the prostate, which is more crucial for sex than most men realize. It is not conspicuous. Yes, it might already be in a bowl on your kitchen counter. Let's talk about why pumpkin seeds can be the most underappreciated part of your nightly routine. 5 pumpkin seeds, a mineral powerhouse the size of a spoon. The greatest promise for healing can occasionally be found in the simplest things. The same is true of pumpkin seeds. Just tiny green seeds that we usually overlook or discard. After creating a jack-o'-lantern, they don't seem like much. But for men over 60, these little seeds can make a big difference, especially when it comes to sleep, circulation, and restoring the things that aging takes away from us. I remember Don, a 66-year-old retired engineer, tall and soft-spoken. He came in primarily because he was waking up too often at night. It's like clockwork 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a night, he continued, adding that by morning, I feel like I've barely slept. But the sleep wasn't the only thing. He started to believe that this was simply the nature of aging because he was feeling less active and less close to his wife. When I looked at his chart, I noticed that his blood pressure was steadily increasing and that his prostate was somewhat enlarged. We could handle it, but it's not out of the ordinary. That's when I told him about pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are a great source of magnesium, which relaxes the muscles in your blood vessels to improve blood flow throughout your body. They are also rich in zinc, which is necessary for the production of testosterone and the prostate's health. The fact that they naturally contain tryptophan, which helps produce serotonin and melatonin, 2 chemicals essential for restful, deep sleep, may surprise you the most. But there's more. The phytosterols in pumpkin seeds have been shown in certain studies to help reduce prostate enlargement, which would enhance urine flow and consequently improve blood circulation to the groin. At night, Dawn started taking 1 or 2 teaspoons of raw pumpkin seeds, sometimes pure, sometimes with a small banana, before bed. Over a few weeks, he cut down on the number of times he used the restroom at midnight by half. Within a month, he felt more rested, more focused, and shockingly more responsive in bed. I haven't felt this steady in years, he said. Something seems to have woken up inside of me. These little seeds can do that if you give them the chance. While pumpkin seeds are a good source of minerals, the next meal on our list contains even more powerful components. A slow release of proteins that works in the background all night to restore your endurance, blood vessels, and muscles. It's full, silky, and goes nicely with fruit or honey. Let's talk about Greek yogurt and its various uses outside of breakfast. 6. Greek yogurt is a double protein sleep aid. There's something comforting about a bowl of Greek yogurt. It's cool, pleasant, and silky. Many men are not aware of this, especially if they are over 60 and trying to reclaim their vitality, vigor, and sense of completeness. However, it is also one of the most helpful things you can do for your body before bed. Even at 70. Robert, a former high school football coach, maintained his firm grasp and commanding voice. On the inside, though, he acknowledged he felt like a shadow of the guy he used to be. He no longer felt connected to his wife, his muscles were softer, and he slept shallowly. He said that even though I still love her very much, my body just can't keep up. Then I asked him what he had eaten before bed. He looked at me puzzledly and said nothing. I thought it was awful to eat late. It's a popular belief. A well-considered light dinner before bed, however, can support your body's natural rhythm. Greek yogurt stands out in this case. It contains two types of protein: whey, which breaks down quickly to speed up repair, and casein, which breaks down gradually to power your muscles and tissues all night long. This dual action guarantees that your muscles and blood vessels receive a constant flow of nutrients during the deepest periods of sleep when your body is working hardest to rebuild and heal. But that's just the beginning. Greek yogurt, which is also high in calcium and B vitamins, aids in the regulation of blood flow, neuronal activity, and even testosterone production. When you add ingredients like chia seeds for omega-3s, blueberries for antioxidant support, or a drizzle of raw honey to increase nitric oxide levels, it becomes more than simply a snack. It becomes a gentle, nourishing kind of treatment. Robert meant it. Every night about an hour before bed, he made a small dish with Greek yogurt, chia, cinnamon, and a few slices of banana. After 3 weeks, he told me he felt better rested, woke up with more energy, and felt intimate in a way he hadn't felt in years. He said it feels like a miracle, but it's not. As Greek yogurt provides a constant flow of protein and nutrients throughout the night, the next meal absorbs even more. It tackles muscle restoration, artery strength, and testosterone in a single creamy spoon. You've probably passed it at the grocery store without seeing the possible advantages for your masculinity. Let's talk about the benefits of including cottage cheese in your nightly routine. 7. The silent muscle builder is cottage cheese. As though it were something our parents or grandparents kept in the pantry, cottage cheese exudes an air of antiquity. But sometimes old wisdom may tell us exactly what the body needs. And cottage cheese is one of the most subtle ways to help you rebuild your vigor before bed, especially after the age of 60. One of my patients was a 72-year-old retired mechanic named Frank, who had spent decades working with his hands. He told me that he used to feel strong, rooted, and as though his body was an essential component of who he was. But during the past few years, he felt as if he was losing that connection. His muscles getting softer, his grasp getting weaker, and his confidence waning. All he wanted was to feel capable again. He wasn't looking for quick remedies or secret recipes. That's when I introduced him to cottage cheese. Cottage cheese has a lot of casein, a slow-digesting protein that gives your body a steady supply of amino acids all night long. That gradual release helps restore muscles and tissues as you sleep, when your body is healing itself naturally. This is the part that most men don't know about, because healthy blood vessels and muscle fibers enhance everything below the belt. Stronger muscles are associated with better circulation, better balance, and even higher erections. But there are other benefits besides protein. Cottage cheese also contains leucine, a powerful amino acid that directly supports muscle growth and recovery. It also has a high calcium content which lowers blood pressure and encourages vascular relaxation. These are two factors that should worry every man over 60. Because of its mild flavor and tender texture, it is also easy to digest, even if you are not as hungry as you were before. Frank started drinking just half a cup every night, sometimes with cinnamon or fruit. A few weeks later, he came back a little more vigorous. "Doctor," he said, "I Didn't think I'd feel this solid again. I sleep better and wake up stronger. My wife, to be honest, saw, too. That kind of shift could result from giving your body what it truly needs. Food is always served quietly and at the right time. But if you're looking for the greatest nighttime powerhouse, this is for you. The one I personally recommend to anyone recovering from muscular loss, lethargy, or inadequate blood flow. It's not just about eating. The purpose of this shake is to rebuild you from the inside out. Let me illustrate the exact formula. 8. Sometimes I sit across from a man in my practice who has tried everything. My own recommendation for the best shake for muscle rebuilding is this one. He still appears to be fading in spite of vitamins, diets, and exercise in terms of vitality, intimacy, and drive in addition to physical attributes. And when I see that mixture of calm, compliance, and annoyance in his eyes, I know it's time to provide what I refer to as the reset button. Personally, I've recommended a simple night shake to hundreds of my patients. This isn't your typical health store powder. It was created especially for older guys who need to increase blood flow, mend muscle, and get their energy back while they sleep. It is a combination of tried and true elements. The power of this shake lies in its ability to work with your nature, not against it. You see, when you are sleeping deeply, your body is already rebuilding blood vessels, regulating hormones, and repairing tissues. All it needs is the right basic material. Whey protein, the main ingredient in this drink, is rich in amino acids, rapidly absorbed and necessary for muscle repair. Collagen. Peptides, which support the health of connective tissue, blood vessel linings, and skin, are what I add to it. Collagen becomes more and more important as we age, and most guys simply do not receive enough of it. Last but not least, I include leucine, an amino acid that acts as a switch to activate muscle building pathways even in elderly people. Together, these three elements form what I believe to be the most complete evening support system a man can give his body after losing a significant amount of muscle during his lengthy recovery from surgery. George, 75, came to me. He felt disconnected from himself and powerless. We got him started on this smoothie. 1 scoop of whey, 1 scoop of collagen, 3 grams of leucine, unsweetened almond milk, and a pinch of cinnamon are all added. In just a few weeks, his posture straightened, his endurance returned, and something else returned as well. His pride. I'm finally regaining confidence in addition to muscle, he said. Amazing things occur when the body gets the things it needs at the right time. Even while this shake repairs from the inside out, a single invisible mistake causes many men to struggle to perceive improvements. If you're not conscious of this missing approach, it could be the one thing stopping you from moving forward. What they're missing right before bed is more significant than what they're doing. Let's talk about it. 9. The evening approach that is missing. Reasons why most men don't succeed. Hundreds of males that I've met were doing well. They felt worn out, trapped, and disconnected from their power, confidence, and previous sense of vigor despite changing their diet, taking supplements, and exercising regularly. And several of them came into my office asking in silence, "Why isn't this working?" The hour before bed was typically the only underutilized window of time. Most men don't realize how much power is present in this small window, especially those over 60. It happens when your body tries to naturally repair, rebuild, and restore itself. But instead of encouraging that process, the majority of men unintentionally impede it. Some people think that going to bed empty-handed is better for their digestion or sleep. Others opt for a quick snack, usually one that is high in sugar, salt, or carbohydrates, which throws their hormones off balance, raises their blood sugar levels, and prevents their bodies from getting the deep sleep they so desperately need. But the most common mistake, not giving your body the exact nutrition it needs to sustain blood flow, muscle regeneration, and hormone regulation while you sleep when your body is functioning at its best. I remember a 68-year-old man named Thomas who was a hard worker in the construction industry. He told me that in spite of his best efforts, he was not receiving the results he was hoping for. He had reduced his coffee intake, started walking daily, and even started exercising little weights. But when I asked him about his nighttime routine, he shrugged and said, "I generally skip dinner or just have a sandwich before bed." That was when it all became sense. He was winning. The most crucial strategy for his physique was missing to his overnight routine. We merely added one nutrient-dense meal. Something as simple as cottage cheese or a whey and collagen drink. After 2 weeks, he started to sleep deeper. When he came back a month later, his face flushed. He told me, "I'm feeling like myself again, Doc." The truth is that no matter how many changes you make throughout the day, your body will not regenerate if it is starved at night. However, the transformation begins when you learn how to effectively, steadily, and silently feed it during those precious hours before bed. And that brings us to one of the most common questions my patients ask me. If I start doing all this, how soon will I see a change? That response may surprise you because your body reacts faster than you may think when you treat it well. Let's look at what really happens in 7, 4, and 30 nights. Expectations for 7, 14, and 30 nights. One of the most common questions I receive from my patients is this one, especially from those who have endured years of silent struggle. "Doc, if I do everything you've told me, how soon will I see a difference?" And I get it. When you've been feeling like your body is failing you for months or even years, it's hard to believe that something as simple as changing your diet before bed will help. But I want you to know that it can, and it often happens faster than you might think. I remember James, a 71-year-old postal worker. He was not interested in miracles. All he wanted was to have a private moment with his wife and wake up feeling stronger and closer to her. Despite his reservations, like many men, he decided to try the bedtime method we've been talking about. He would choose 1 or 2 of the foods each night to give his body the sustenance it needed while he slept. He reported something simple but powerful 7 nights later. Less waking, less turning and tossing, and more peaceful sleep. He said, "I feel like I'm finally sleeping, not just closing my eyes." Moreover, that is where the healing process begins. He was more energized during the day. By night 14, he was having strong natural morning erections again, even though he thought he had long since outlived them. He said he felt happier and more focused for the first time in years. He described it as a silent return of hope. Then, on day 30, the bigger changes happened. In bed, he was more resilient. He wasn't running to the bathroom at night and he felt physically stronger in terms of both emotional presence and muscle tone. His wife said he looked lighter, more at ease, more like himself. That's what happens when you support your body's natural healing process every single night. You don't have to wait months. If you are consistent and follow the right procedure, change will begin in a few nights. Your body wants to heal itself, especially after the age of 60. It just requires the right kind of help. Now that you are aware of how swiftly and profoundly your body may respond, I want to leave you with one final thought. It is the most important message because I have more in store for you than just food and rest. It's about what it means to be a man at this stage of life. Don't overlook this. 11th, your doctor's final word. You're not hurt. You are rebuildable. If I may, I would like to leave you with this message. You're not hurt. I don't care about your age, your latest lab results, or how many nights you've stayed up wondering if your best days are coming to an end. You're not hurt. You are rebuildable. The purpose of everything we've talked about, from every spoonful of food to every drop of tart cherry juice to every protein shake before bed, is to give your body what it has been quietly asking for. The idea that growing older equates to losing intimacy, strength, or self-worth was embraced by far too many good men I've sat across from. But I have also witnessed firsthand what happens when a man decides to stop giving up and start giving his body the food it needs to heal. I have seen men rediscover their passion in their 70s and 80s. I've seen men get back on their feet with pride, marriages re-established, and self-esteem restored. You still have a body. It has been anticipating. I'm waiting for you to understand how strongly it responds to the right fuel, care, and attention. Furthermore, there is no age limit on healing, so it's never too late. Rebuilding is not limited to young people. As you get older, your body actually appreciates the effort more. Tonight, you have a choice. You can either do one simple thing or keep doing the same thing and hope that things will change with just one glass of the right beverage, one spoonful of the right food, and a silent commitment to look after yourself. You can begin a new chapter. You don't have to finish everything at once. Simply begin to let your body know you're not done. Start with just one step. You deserve to connect, feel, and experience life to the fullest. So, I still want to do that. Not very soon. The next time you're standing in your kitchen before bed this evening, ask yourself what your body needs to feel alive again. Then, while you sleep, give it that one item, that one spoon, and let your mending begin. You can rebuild yourself. You are not broken, and you are stronger than you have been told. If you were moved by this video, don't keep it to yourself. Since you clicked the like button, I am aware that this kind of content is significant. Offer it to a loved one, friend, or brother who might be experiencing a comparable circumstance. In private to your own. You never know the power of one simple video to change someone's life. I would also like to hear from you. In the comments section below, let me know what you're going to eat before bed tonight and any changes you've already noticed. Another man might be inspired to take the first step by your story. All of your messages were read by me. If you would like to support the channel and help keep movies like this one coming, think about giving a small donation. Every dollar contributes to bettering content, reaching more men, and changing more lives. You're not alone on this journey because every action you take to better yourself also helps others. Thank you for choosing to heal and for being here. I'll see you in the next video.